Hey, everybody, Mark Herman, a.k.a. LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. And we are joined here by superfan Heath Goldman and Jake Circus from the Jake Circus podcast. And we even have Papa Circus with us today. So we got everybody in the house, and this is the week 16 edition preview of Jungle Talk. Woo! Who day? So, Who day? So, what we're going to do, what we always do, I have a little bit of news. We're going to talk about the things we're not feeling good about, things we're feeling good about, and then we'll do our score predictions. On the news front, I've only got one thing. So, Jake, I don't know if you have anything to add to it, but Mike Thomas was plucked off our practice squad this week by the Baltimore Ravens. So, goodbye, good riddance. When he didn't come back for that ball and kind of hung Burrow out there, I was like, okay, I had no problem seeing him go. So
rest in peace to all the Mike Thomas memes from 3 years ago when the other Mike Thomas was actually good.
Hey, he had his chance when there were injuries, but he didn't perform. So
no, he did not. And I'll take our Trent, and I'll take Irwin and Taylor any day of the week. They show hustle and heart, and remind me a lot of Alex Erickson. And I'll always take hustle and heart.
Don't forget about Stanley Morgan. He is technically on the receiver depth chart, even though he doesn't really get targets, but he is like one of the best special team gunners in the entire league. We love him.
Absolutely. No, huge contributor. And that's how you make the team. Play on special teams, contribute, make yourself indispensable. So, but that's all I got in news. Jake, did you have any news you wanted to add?
We're going to talk about it, but Trey, I mean, that was kind of a nice surprise. We figured maybe he might come back with a club on his hand, and we'll see. I don't know, but he's going to play, and he's Superman. It's pretty actually insane how he's playing.
I don't know if you guys saw. I read this morning. He's not even going to have a club. He's going to have use of his hand and fingers. And he said it's just pain management. It's going to hurt like heck, but he's going.
That's it. No, the Zach Taylor said that he came to him earlier this week, said he wanted to play, and he's playing with just a brace, so he can grab, and he has full movement in his fingers. So, and
I tell you, I as much as I love the guy, I'd rather see him stay. Try to get that thing healed before the stretch run here. I mean, I don't know. It's I love the competitive nature, but we need him 3 weeks from now.
Well, he said it can't get any worse. It's just pain management.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, that's fine then.
You talk to the doctors, and they say, "Can I make this injury worse?" And if you can't make the injury worse, and you're willing to tolerate the pain, then get out there. As long as you can.
Without Hubbard, we needed somebody on the edge.
Yep.
So, let's jump in since we're talking about the injury report. Let's go through. There's actually a lot of good news today. Mike Hilton, full practice. Trey Hendrickson, full practice with the brace. He is full practice participant today.
Is he wearing a brace or a club?
No, a brace.
Oh, a brace.
Zach Taylor specifically said Hendrickson plans to play with a brace and that he can grab because he's got movement in his fingers. That is the Zach Taylor quote from today. So that's Jeff Hobson's article. So, it won't be pleasant. It's supposed to be 25 degrees. So that doesn't make things more limber.
That doesn't help injuries and muscles and bones that hurt.
Well, it's league wide. Every game, except for the games played indoors and the Niners game, is going to be under 30 degrees. Every single game, even the Sunday games too. There's the Niners, the Colts on Monday night. They play in a dome. Dallas, I think one more. But other than that, every Cardinals, which we'll be at. Oh my!
Yeah, we will.
God help us. It's going to be under 30 everywhere.
I like Tampa Bay this week. That's one of my picks. Aren't the Cardinals playing their third stringer because McCoy's out? Yeah, I liked when we talk at the end about some gambling picks. The Buccaneers. I like the Buccaneers this weekend. So
speaking of Bucks, my fun fact of the week. I've probably been to 3 NFL games in the last 5 to 7 years. This week will be my third straight week at an NFL game.
And you guys were at the Tampa Bay game, and it just seemed we could hear the Who Days loud and clear over the TV.
Our entire section was ironically all Bengals fans. It was I think in the fourth quarter, I mean, I was chirping at some Tampa fans when they scored that garbage touchdown, and I screamed. I was like, "Oh, the cannons still work." Who'd have thought? They shot off the cannons when they scored a touchdown down 3 scores with a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
And what happened to this kid, Devin? The apple didn't fall far, but that's not the one we ever expected the apple to fall far to.
I taught him well. But on that front, Mark, we you lose perspective because we walked in, we went to Bengal Jim's tailgate party, and it was wall to wall Bengal people. We haven't been to a road game. We went to a home game last year, and ton of Bengals jerseys, who they throughout, and you feel like there's a big contingency, but you never know when you walk into the stadium and there's 70, 80,000 people. But it really felt like, and looking at Twitter during the game and after the game, with people saying that Who Dey was loud and prominent on TV, there was a really, really strong Bengals contingency. Yeah. And, the irony is yesterday was 2 years to the Juju hit game, and today's 3 years to the Miami game, how far we've come as an organization and a franchise. But this team travels well. This team represents well. And it's, I getting chills saying the sentence, but the three of us old guys have been through this for 40 some odd years. Yes. And Jake grew up, crying as an 8-year-old. We still talk about the Pittsburgh game, the Vontaze Burfict game, where I carried him up to bed crying. And my consoling him was, welcome to being a Bengals fan. One day it'll change. Right. But the team travels well. Obviously, the team's good, and it's fun, and it's just a great time to be a Bengals fan.
Yeah, no, it's and I was really happy to see you guys. That picture you guys posted on Twitter was great. It's a great, it's all about experiences now.
Yeah.
That's a great father-son experience. And what better place than watching you guys, watching the comeback against Brady. Yep. So,
and one more thing on the Bengals contingency, if I may. We brought my father-in-law, my wife's dad, lifelong Patriots fan. He lived in New Hampshire his whole life. He's retired in Florida now. So big Brady fan, but loves the Bucs because of Brady and living in Tampa. And he was decked out in his Bucs gear, well received at the tailgate. Everybody was respectful and joking. And just a real fun day and experience for the three of us together.
Well, he's going to be disappointed this week because not only is he going to watch Brady lose last week, but they're going to lose this week, that Patriots. So it's going to be a double whammy on him. But you know what? He can root for us in the postseason because the Patriots aren't going to be there. So let's finish the injury report. Like I said, the good news, Mike Hilton. Eli Apple was limited in practice, but Zach's exact words were that he should be good to go.
But let me ask a serious question. Isn't he limited in many games?
Well, it's good Apple.
No, we like Eli. I've tried to force this narrative the last year. Let's just set the record straight for Eli Apple. He was signed off the street in early September last year and played more defensive snaps than any defensive player in the league other than Jalen Ramsey last year. Like, he's not an all-pro. We don't expect him to be a Pro Bowler, but the guy plays. He's reliable. Yes, he gets burnt, but every corner does. And look, it's the Bengals are the defense is a who's who of who are these guys. If you're an outsider, this was what Ryan Russillo and Ben Solak said on their pod earlier. But Lou Anarumo has just changed this defense, and Eli does every week exactly what he's asked to do, and he's been healthy. And I don't think he's an all-pro, but I respect what Eli Apple's done. And look, the Bengals need to draft another corner. They're going to, because this corner room has been just depleted all year.
Right.
But they're going to draft someone to challenge Eli Apple, and I think Eli's going to be up for the challenge. But that's way in the future. But in terms of right now, Eli as our corner 2, or I guess it's our tied for our corner 1. And they're all playing well.
Yeah. Well, Eli Apple, when we first came to our team, he was just there to make the tackle. He wasn't making plays on balls. So he was either committing the penalty or making the tackle. But right after the bye week, something switch went off in his head, and he started making plays, actually making plays on the ball. And that's continued. And I give Lou and the people around him a lot of credit, a lot of teammates. So Eli Apple,
he's an energy guy. I mean, he brings a bunch of energy too.
Yeah, he's a like I said, serviceable. These middle tier serviceable corners are invaluable. You can't have all Awuzies. You can't afford them. Right. So he's a staple. But we should have Eli back. So all this is good news. And Cam Taylor-Britt's shoulder, we should have him as well. So this is all good news. I know Hubbard's out, but we're getting a lot of horses back, and we got Trey, coming out there and toughing it out this week. So I really like that. The injury report favors us. You look at
Hurst.
Hurst is limited, and and Zach did not comment on Hurst today.
I doubt Hurts goes.
Yeah,
I doubt it. They'll save him another week. Long week next week. Super long week actually. 2 extra rest days with the Saturday game for the long turnaround to Monday.
Yeah.
That's probably where they'll use Hurst. And then I would assume Hurst is a full go for the Bills game. That's just what I would think.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem like Hurst is gonna give it a go.
Yeah. On the Patriots front, I mean, yeah, Mills and Parker are out. So, I like where we're at. We've got horses coming back. This Patriots team, and we'll talk about let's talk about the bad first. They're desperate, and they're coming off probably one of the ugliest losses. Way to win a game. Something you would definitely not expect from a Belichick coach team. You only do the Stanford band play as a last resort. They were tied. Go to overtime. I don't know what Jacoby Myers was thinking when he threw the ball. It cost him the game, and that works against us because they're going to be more focused. They're going to have kind of a chip on their shoulder. And it's in New England. That's really the only thing I can talk about that I feel bad about.
I was going to ask if who was starting quarterback for them. If it was Mac or or Jacoby.
So yeah, well, like I said, we'll probably will never see a play like that again in football. I mean, where it's just that stupid.
Yeah.
I've had those kind of plays burn me, and Jake, you probably had this too on some bets where a team throws it back, and all of a sudden you're covering. You're like, listen, I'm getting 3.5, I'm fine, and then they do one of these stupid plays, and the other team scores, and now all of a sudden you're not winning with the point. So
I had the Raiders on Sunday. Sometimes you're on the bad end of the horseshoe. Sometimes you're on the great end of the horseshoe. I also had the Jets, and the Jets completely screwed me in so many different ways in that game. So it all balances out. It's all about the long term. But I did have the Raiders, and at this point, betting on the Raiders, if they go up 2 scores at any point, you expect them to lose. Normally, the Raiders win when the game is close the entire time. If they ever have a big lead, they normally blow it. Like McDaniels was in overtime away from being now 0-5 this year. When leading by 2 scores at any point. Ridiculous.
There's a lot of teams that have blown a good amount of double-digit leads this year. Baltimore's done it. Matt Ryan obviously continues to do it and always will his entire career.
They made history this last weekend. So with that lead. So,
I think there's a little bit more bad, or not bad. But this is the best defense that the Bengals are going to face or have faced so far. This season. They're good against the run and against the pass. They have 2 good pass rushers, not like world beaters like a Myles Garrett or a TJ Watt, but they do have Josh Uche, and they do have Matthew Judon, who are, one is an all-pro, the other's gonna be to multiple Pro Bowls over the next couple of years. They do all sorts of weird stuff on defense, not to get into crazy X's and O's, but it's very similar to what Tennessee did. They'll stack the box. They'll bring pressure with weak boxes. They'll drop with loaded boxes. It's a Belichick defense. It's Bill, and Burrow's never faced him, and I'm super interested and intrigued to see how Brian Callahan and Zach Taylor counteract that, because Brian Callahan has tons of experience going up against Bill Belichick when he was with Denver. People forget that with Manning and those Denver teams. So they'll be prepared, but it's something to worry about. It's just this is the best defense they faced, and we'll see.
Yeah, Judon and that sack tandem, I think they have 25 sacks. They're one of the top sack duos in football. So that is a concern. On the flip side, and I think we can transition right over to the good. They do have Matt Patricia as their offensive coordinator. So, I feel pretty good about that. This is a team that if we can get up on them by a decent amount of points, they're not going to be able to come back. Matt Jones is not going to sling the ball all over the place. He's just not. That's not how they're built. So if you can get up a 2 or 3 scores on this team, then you can just the clock's your friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You take Ramondre Stevenson out of this game, and it becomes an easy game to finish off and jump out early, and then ride it in, because absolutely Mac Jones can't bring this team back against this defense.
No, they're just not built that. They're just not built this way. They're built to get ahead and then protect the lead. That's why they're built. So
that's an interesting aspect to it, seeing, because remember we talked about the game plan before the Tennessee game, whether or not they were going to kind of go all out to get ahead for similar reasons. They didn't. They won an ugly game. I would think that's their mindset. They look back at the Denver game last year, late in the year, December football. They were like, all right, we're going to score 13 points, and you have no chance of scoring more than that. I don't think New England offense is that bad. Their metrics are about a little below league average. Their metrics are actually better than Tampa's, ironically. And, Tampa scored 17 in the first half and didn't score again until garbage time.
Right.
But, they can run the ball. Tampa couldn't. New England can run the ball, but it's going to be ugly. I would probably assume that the Bengals are going to be like, all right, we're going to win ugly because we're better. We think we're better on both sides, and they might be. Right. But New England has dudes on defense. They really don't have anyone on offense except for Ramondre Stevenson. So we'll see the game plan, but I would expect it's very similar to what we've seen from them in these types of games on the road late in the year. Short spread, low total, ugly. But they've proven that they can win in a variety of different ways, and that's why everyone is in love with them. It's because they do it all.
Right. Yeah, no, like I said, we put up more than 17 points, and I think we're out of reach. So, I mean, that's the plan, which is why in my score prediction, I don't have the Bengals at 30 points. I know some people in the comments are constantly complaining, well, we're going to score 35. I was like, no, sometimes that's not our game plan. I mean, I know we scored a lot more than I expected on Tampa Bay. I mean, I knew we were going to come back, but I didn't think it was going to be doing a 34 unanswered.
When you force
five short fields helps that.
Yeah. I think the Bengals had one sustained drive, and that was at the end of the first half when they got 3 points, when Burrow racked off 4 or 5 straight completions, which were his second, third, fourth, and fifth completions of the game at that point. But that was pretty much it. Not nothing bad against Burrow in the second half. He just didn't need to go far down the field because his defense kept forcing turnovers in Tampa territory. So it was easy. Just pitch and catch a couple of times, and they're at the goal line.
When he got his third touchdown, I think he had 169 yards passing, and he had thrown for 3 TDs.
Yeah. So 4 of the 5 turnovers were in Bucs territory, and 2 of them were in the red zone.
Yeah. So. No,
I said to Riley at that time, I'm like, you know what? This is a place where you could see a fake punt. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's no chance they're actually going to do it. And damn it, Giovanni didn't realize they were doing it either. But, and I love that when he was on the Bengals. But so.
Old Gio helped us out there. I was at the concession stand waiting for this old fart to get out of the bathroom. He took the entirety of halftime to use the bathroom. So I watched it on the screen. And I didn't even know it was a fake punt. I just thought the punter dropped it, but it turns out Gio fucked up.
10 guys on the field knew it was a fake punt, except for the most important guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Line was long to go to the bathroom, Jake.
Did we ever hear whether or not it was an automatic play that was sent in, or if it was a read? Like if you see this scheme and we're switching over to that, and Gio just missed the switch.
I think everybody was too busy beating up the 3 reporters that beat up Gio in the locker room after the game.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't hear. I don't know.
And Jake, you got to cut your dad some slack. You get up there in years and the bathroom's not as fast as it used to be. That's just one of those things when you hit 50, it just changes. So
he's not there yet. He's not there yet.
No,
I've known Devin for about 30 years. I'm not going to digress and regress this show, but
so just being, they always say youth is wasted on the young because you don't realize the things that you're up against, coming down. So you're decades away. So enjoy the youth.
Hey, we got to get to the betting. We got to get to the betting side of this equation.
All right. So, I personally, I just did a parlay, and the 3 main components were the Bengals money line, and I love the Steeler money line. I've got those in there, so I really like those games, and the Tampa money line. So you can bring it all home at the end. So I really like, I'm a money line and teaser guy. I don't like to deal with points.
He doesn't like laying the points.
I don't like the points.
Wait, you said Tampa Bay? I thought you said Tampa Bay's going to lose.
No, I said Tampa Bay's going to win against Arizona.
I know what you're talking
about. Yeah. So but I like that parlay. Jake, what do you got? And by the way, Jake does a great show, gambling oriented, on the Jake Circus podcast. So make sure that you tune into that.
We're back.
Yeah. So I just gave your a podcast a plug, saying you do a great show. So
great.
Is there anything you want to add to my 3?
What's that?
Is there anything you want to add to my 3?
For this week?
Yeah.
Oh, cut out again. No.
When they're in and out. They're having some issues in Arizona with the Wi-Fi. He's back. Okay.
Hey, talk to this guy.
Hey, high speed. Spend the money. Come on.
Off the top of my head,
Wi-Fi will not get a plug for me on this podcast.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, Panthers plus the 3. I think they're gonna win outright. And Packers. Love the Packers this week outright.
Good. So before we
here's the most important question though. There's a house divided over there in the Circus family. Keeping it clean. What's the bet?
On what?
In the house. So in-house bet.
You and Tracy, because she's the Patriots fan. That's what I hear.
We haven't gotten there yet. It will be determined and it will be live.
Okay. Well, we want to hear something good.
I'll report back next week.
Report back next week, something good. So, all right. Well, let's get
down on her team.
Let's get to some score predictions. Who wants to go first?
You guys are gambling. All three of you gamble. So I'm going to let you guys go scores.
Okay, well, I'll go first. I've already kind of thrown mine out there. I'm not going more than 26 points. I agree with Jake. I think this is going to be a lot like the Tennessee game, but I think we will go out there. So I'm going to go 26 for the Bengals, and I'm going to give 20 to the Patriots with the caveat that I think we're up 26-13 late, and that's just a junk score. I think we're up 26-13 late, and they get a junk score to make the score look a little better. But we win this game. I'm very comfortable with that.
I have 23-17 Bengals. I think they also get up pretty early. I had this on my computer. I haven't said it yet. Here are the Patriots wins this year. They've beaten Mitch Trubisky, Jared Goff, road cold Jared Goff, Jacoby Brissett, Zach Wilson, Sam Ehlinger, Zach Wilson again, but worse, and then Colt McCoy. It's like this whole year we've been like, what do we do with the Patriots? Like, do these wins mean anything? And now they have a short week. Yes, it's a home game, desperate against a really good team. I do think it's a trap, but the Tampa game was a trap. The Chiefs game was arguably a trap. The Steelers game was a trap. Titans game was a trap, and they've won 6 straight and since the bye, and they don't care what the sharps are saying, and it's
maybe we're just getting a lot of respect all of a sudden. Can you have 6 traps in a row?
Yeah. So Bengals 23-17.
I like that. You guys want to jump in with any?
I'm not far off from you guys. Yep, I'm not far off from you guys. I think a lot of field goals, a little ugly. I'm going 20-16 Bengals. I think it's a lot more close than we want it to be. I don't think Belichick's going to let us get ahead of them, but or pull away. I mean, but I think it's one of those games where we never pull away, but never feel like we're not going to win it. So I'm going 20-16.
Like the Pittsburgh
Bengals,
game,
and Jack likes to pick because he wants to say hi.
There you go.
You put a jersey on that dog.
All right, Heath, you going to go out a score for us, or?
No, I never. That's the one thing I always leave to you guys.
All right, perfect. All right, Jake, tell them where they can find your podcast. I forgot to do that in the beginning. I apologize.
Yeah, on Spotify, 1 to 2 episodes per week. Great gambling show planned next week. The football slate Wednesday to Monday next week is completely outrageous. There's 35, no, not that many, but 25 games, including college and NFL. Got a good guest from Bleacher Report coming on, talk everything and all lines and all that stuff. On Spotify, Jake Circus Podcast. That one will be on YouTube too. And then follow me on Twitter at Jake Circus, where all my Bengal stuff is as well.
You can send out, you had a great tweet right before the Thanksgiving weekend that basically said food, drink, gambling, repeat for the next 4 days. And I was like, yep, that's the weekend. So
it's the best time of the year, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's electric.
Absolutely. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. This is a show by fans, for fans. It's just for fun, but please, all we ask to support the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. So help us out in the analytics, and hit the bell so you get the notifications. All we ask. So, well, Heath and I will be back with the recap right after the game on Saturday. It's a Saturday game. Jake and Deb,
we can come on
if you guys are available. If you guys are available, I'll include you on the link. You can join us. We will start recording 15 minutes after the game.
What time's the game? I didn't look.
It's a morning game, 10 o'clock.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, 10 o'clock PST. So, because we're all in different. So, all right. So, with that, I'm going to say, join us for the recap afterwards. And with that, I'm going to say, hoo day, everybody.
Hoo day.
Take care.
Hoo day.
Hoo day.